Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all doing great. Today's video we're going to explore a very interesting idea related to cognitive psychology. Some of you think that intelligence is something innate, fixed and cannot be changed. Well, today's video is going to challenge the whole assumption. So, without further ado, subscribe and let's get into it. Back to the 1970s. With the rise of the cognitive psychology, researchers have begun to rethink about how the mind works. Instead of viewing the intelligence as something fixed, innate, either you have it or you don't, they shifted their focus to the information processing and how different people differently process their information. How we take new material, how we store them, how we recall them, and how we use them to solve our daily problems. According to this perspective, the intelligence differences aren't simply that you are naturally smart, they are often a result of our difference in information processing, how we store information, how we deal with any new information. In other words, how you learn, what strategies you use, how do you recall what you learn. All of this contributes to the idea of intelligence, or what is called intelligence. This means that the intelligence is not a static number or something that will still the same throughout your life. Okay, to make this idea more practical, let's have a look on some different strategies to learn and to memorize. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the Feynman technique, one of the perfect ways you can use to memorize anything, just like that. The Feynman technique basically was developed by someone who's called Richard Feynman in 1965, and this work earned him the Nobel Prize. The Feynman technique was a very interesting idea that he developed, working on how to make someone memorize everything and simplify things. The Feynman technique simply is that you're going to be able to train yourself to teach the idea. When you start teaching the idea, you will imagine yourself that you're teaching it to someone who's 5 years old, which means that you need to work on a very simple language to deliver the message. Okay, once you start explaining the idea of the lesson, you will notice some gaps in your understanding, and in this way you will discover those gaps and then you will fill them. How is that? You will refer to the lesson, you will use analogy. What is analogy? Analogy is that simply you project something in your lesson on something in your daily life. For example, you are going to study the brain system. What is the thing that is common system to the brain? Simply, it is the computer. So we are going to make a comparison between both of them, both systems. In this way, you will create like a link, a mental anchor will help you always to retain the information whenever you need them. Let's summarize the whole technique in 4 steps. The first step is that you're going to take the lesson with the technical terms, with those hard terms that you cannot understand. Then you start teaching this lesson. You start teaching, once you start the process, you will notice that there are some gaps in the lesson that you are not able to understand. And in this way, you will take them, you will simplify the language, you will find out more about the lesson, you will discover more about those gaps and you fill them in. The lesson will feel more natural. In this way, the brain will take the information easily and it will be processed better than the technical terms who are like a bit strange for your brain, and in this way you will be able to retain them every single day. Your brain understands simple language, and in this way you will be smart even if you are not naturally gifted of being smart.